Howdy, everybody. Welcome to nyctalking.com. Today I am joined by
Danielle LarraCuente. I am a actress. I am Boricua. I am a mom, and I am a powerhouse boss.
The city of New York, Boricua from the Bronx.
Define powerhouse boss for me, because I feel like that right there is confidence, and I want to know about that.
So I think for me, and anybody who knows me in the industry, I kind of take the bull by the horns, and I've always have. Even, I mean, I'm a child actor as well, and even at a young age, both my parents are retired NYPD officers. Like, they were not interested in like taking me around to go-sees. They call it, auditions were called ghosties back in the day. They were like, "Oh man, does she really want to do this?" And I was always a force in my life, in my career, and it kind of stuck with me. So anybody who knows me in the industry, I'm Mrs. Get It Done. With my team, I'm like, team, how could we get where I need to be? And I think that's a really important factor in a lot of people in their acting careers and being an artist. There's a whole actions that you have to take, and a lot of people kind of just wait around and like wonder why things are not working out or whatever. And it's like, you got to get active out there. You got to network. You got to do what you got to do. You got to make sure you're on point in every way. Also, I own my own business, so in that
Literally.
aspect, yeah.
Literally.
So that's really awesome. Like, I teach that, like, with a lot of my actor friends or people in the industry. I think things started to really change for me when I wasn't associating acting with the financial part of it, because it's an ebb and flow, right? This career is like, you're up and you're down, and you have this job and then you don't, and then there's off seasons. Even if you're a series writer on a show, like, there's moments where you're not filming, right? So I ended up getting into the ATM business, and that's what I do in the meantime while I'm not acting.
ATM business as like
I own
ATM?
ATM machines. Yeah.
What?
I mean, I don't service them myself, so nobody come for me, but I own them. So if you see ATM machines at like gas stations and stuff like that, as long as they don't have a bank name on it, they're actually individually owned, and people don't realize that. And it's a great business to be in. It's definitely a great business for entertainers who don't want to do a 9 to 5, but they want that constant money going,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How does one end
How?
up in the ATM
Okay, let me
business?
tell
Like,
you. So I'm a mom, right? And I remember there was a moment, I think I was like 7 months pregnant at the time. I wasn't acting. Because I was a child actor, I took a really long time off, maybe like 6 or 7 years, because growing up in it, especially back then, was really hard. Being Latina, being born with curves, having tanner skin, they weren't as open to that back then. So I felt like I dealt with a lot of stuff, especially growing up and being an adolescent and like, becoming a woman and stuff. So there was a moment where I was like, yo, I don't even know if I like this. Like, I need to see if I still like this, because the industry's so hard. So I took a really long time off. And then once I had my son, remember I was sitting there like, yo, how can I tell him to, no matter what, go after your dreams? And even if people try to hold you back, if I don't. So I then sat with myself and I was like, all right, if I got to get back into this, I need some type of, and I just started researching. I'm like, yo, what can I do that I don't have to be in the 9 to 5? And then I learned about vending. I tried that for a little bit, and I did not want to carry sodas. Okay. My nails were breaking. I was like, I did it for like 4 or 5 months, and I was like, oh, this is not for me.
wow,
But
okay.
the ATM business is very similar to vending. It's the same process, like you go every 1 or 2 weeks, you service the machine, and you kind of forget about it. So it's great.
Wow. You have to like kind of sell it to them to put it in their store type of deal, or
Yes. So you'll go into like maybe a gas station or a nail salon and be like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome for you. No charge to you. Right. You let them know that like they gain money by having you there because they cut their credit card charges. I eat their credit card charges, and it's more of a cash-based thing. So, and they also get more customers. Let's say they're right next to a Subway, right? And or another, I don't know, massage parlor, whatever, those customers are gonna be like, oh, there's an ATM there. I gotta go there later anyways. So you're gonna be getting more traffic, like you just sell it that way. And all my customers or people that own these locations are very happy with me and my services. So
Wow. That's bizarre. I know it has nothing to do with acting. It's just like,
no, you
I
know
never
what?
heard
It
of that.
does. It does. I mean, I have a business called Side Hustles for the Entertainer, and side hustles do have to do with acting because we got to live our dreams and we got to make money at the same time.
Oh, true
So
that. Yeah,
everybody
you're right.
check me out, Side Hustles for the Entertainer.com.
I'm gonna check that out myself. Hell, I'm kind of like consulting now. So like I've always had permanent jobs, you know, talking 18 years on the trading floor as an IT support, 7 years in a nonprofit IT support. And I got laid off and I've been getting like temp roles. And hell, I might get into the ATM business and then I could just be like this,
There you go.
and maybe
Yeah, I got an
pursue
ebook
that.
out right now and it tells you literally step by step by step. And I always tell people, I'm like, yo, grab that book because I made 100 mistakes. I'm trying to get you past those 100 mistakes. You can actually make money. I already went through it.
Now you
So
got it
yeah,
locked down.
so I think it's great for a lot. There's other, side hustles that I do as well, but like that's one of the ones that has really helped me. And I try to tell everyone else that like putting stress on it is not going to get you booking. You know what I mean? You got to be free with your art and you got to like, just leave it up to God. Like throw that audition out there and just hope for the best,
Hmm. So tell me about like child acting. Like, would you consider, I mean, I know it's a little personal, but like a lot of child actors end up jacked up, right?
Yeah.
We end up kind of messed up and some of them really, I mean, I've seen some come back and that's cool to see, but how does how does that not happen or how does that happen?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't know what their circumstances are, but yes, I've seen it. And, I can't speak for them. The only thing I can speak for myself is I have a really strong family dynamic and village around me. And again, my parents being from law enforcement, they don't play, okay? And they're Puerto Rican, they do not play. So I think they just raised me with a lot of like, how do you want to be seen in this world, but how do you also want to represent us and our community? So everything I do, I kind of always think about that. Like, will this job represent me and represent my community? So I think that's always helped me. And I think also I wasn't forced. I think there's a whole thing about that. When you push a child to do something that they don't want to do, they rebel. And my parents never pushed me. It was literally me. And I also can speak for my son is also an actor now.
Right.
He's 7 years old. He comes out in Griselda, which is the new Netflix show with Sofia Vergara, and he plays her youngest son. And, that was a little grueling that month of filming. So right after, he's like, Mommy, this is too much or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Like his team knows, like, he wants a break. I call him, the boss wants a break. That's it. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? And then a couple months down the line, he's like, how come I'm not on the TV? And I'm like, you said you wanted a break. And he's like, oh, call him back, So
on his terms. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's the right answer, but how I'm rolling is like, I just go with him. You know what I mean? That's what my parents did. If he wants to do it tomorrow, if he doesn't. And in the meantime, he's getting a little nice fat college fund and that's it. So
and he did this on his own. Like he
Huh?
wanted to act on his own. Like he just
You know what it was? I would audition. He would see
Mhm.
me like at home with self-tape auditions or in person, and he would be trying to jump in and give me direction and telling me action and watching the camera, and he puts on little skits. So I would just sit there. I started to like kind of explain to him like you could do this too and you can da. And he started tiptoeing into it and having just so much fun. He's so funny. He always says, Mommy, I don't understand why we have to audition. Just let him know I'll do the job. I was like, me too. Me too. I can't wait for that, buddy. I literally can't wait for you to be like, yeah, I'll take the job.
Yeah, they come to you, right? Yeah, I was watching I saw some actor talking. I can't remember who it was, but one of those, like big name Marvel actors. And he says, yeah, I haven't auditioned in years, they just call me and I
Yeah.
decide whether or not I want to do it.
That's that
So,
offer only actor. Can't wait for that.
you want to get to that place. I also saw he does jits. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Uh, I actually come from a martial arts background. I have my black belt in Taekwondo, and it literally shaped me as a child in a form of like just respect. And there's so many great elements that, martial arts teaches. So, and I'm also a huge UFC fan, like ginormous. So I was like, all right, so I threw him in and, he has a blast. He's always tumbling all over the floor. And then right now we're working on is he don't like losing. So when a
I was
bigger
gonna
kid comes
say,
in and like throws him to the
yeah.
floor, he looks over at me and I'm like, well, that's not gonna help you.
I was gonna say that one of the things that I learned in jujitsu is, well, I've always been fairly humble, but you learn that when that big dude is smashing you, you have to accept that there are people that will ragdoll you like a child, and I'm not a little dude. I'm like 250 and there are people who I feel like I am a child when I'm fighting with. I had one dude, he kind of went like, he had me in like, he just basically was in side control holding me, and he goes with his hand like this, and he trays it, and he's like, "You're okay." He whispers it. He's like, "You're okay, Angel. It's okay. I'm gonna choke you now."
It's so
And then,
hot. Oh my God.
and then his hands move over, and I feel it, and I'm trying, and he's just like, "It's okay. It's
Oh my
okay."
God.
And he just chokes me, and I tap. But
Oh
it was
my
like there's
Yeah,
nothing you
nothing you
can
can,
do.
that's the biggest thing that like I think it's great for my 7-year-old is like right now they're learning how to control their emotions. And I told like his instructor always says in jujitsu, in martial arts practice, you have to stay calm. Like, because you lose.
100%.
Like the
You're
minute
gonna
something gets you
lose.
upset, you lose automatically.
Yeah,
And
you're
you see
gonna
it all the
lose no
time.
matter what. You're gonna lose. You're
Yep.
not gonna
Right.
tap everybody. You're gonna get crushed. You're gonna get
Yep.
smashed by little dudes, like guys that are smaller than you. Like, and that's you have like once you realize that, and I mean, like I have a bunch of injuries, and it's because ego.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tap. Like I have a shoulder tear
Yeah.
here forever. Like unless I do surgery, and God knows if that would help. I have a really gnarly neck herniation that I mean, I have trouble sometimes feeling this finger, and it's all from stupidity,
Right.
just
Not
the guys,
accepting. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sometimes I underestimated people, I was like, oh, this guy looks soft. He's not gonna tap me. And I'm trying to flip him, but this dude's base was impeccable and I wouldn't tap and he kept cranking. And, in his defense, he assumes I'm not feeling it, so he keeps
Right.
cranking, cranking, cranking. And then next thing you know, I have a life altering injury, so the quicker well, he's 7, so he's probably still very nimble and the body's like, uh, good, but the quicker you learn that, the better off you'll be. And it carries over to general life too.
No, 100%, especially with my son. He's very like rambunctious and whatever. And, you know, he's like literally me in a little boy. So where he's very rambunctious and loud and whatever. And, the biggest thing I could teach him is just to center yourself, stay calm and, think, before you do stuff.
Yeah. Well, this will definitely help. I mean,
Mhm.
the military helped too with that. Like,
Yeah.
it was just accepting, like, you know what? I'm in this really crappy situation, and there's nothing I can do about this. I just have to deal with it, you know. And that's helped a lot in life,
Mhm.
just understanding that and accepting, like, you know
Well,
what?
thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
I admire, people in the military so much. My grandfather practically raised me and he was in the Air Force and would not stop talking like till the day he died. He was like telling everybody who would listen how he was in the special unit in the Air Force and was in World War II. And so it's very important to our family.
Yeah. Wow. I love hearing stories from those folks,
Oh my God.
and we're losing all of them. I don't know that
Yeah.
there's many World War II vets still around, and that, I mean, even saying that makes my hair stand up. Makes me kind of sad. Like, it's like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a lot of that record, you know. I mean, but thankfully a lot of people have been spoken to and it's been recorded and you know, but I heard there was one in my building and I didn't know, you know,
That's so
and
cool.
he passed away and I was like, damn, you know, I would
Yeah.
love to just talk to him, you know.
Just sit there. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just rack his brain about so many things. And he taught me about music and like the Big Bang era and like the 40s and like, you know, just they just thought so differently. And it was really nice to be raised by him and to learn. And
Well, I'm assuming he's Boricua too, right? It's
of course,
Boricua,
yeah,
right?
straight
So
from
his
he grew up in Ponce and then moved to New York and met my grandmother and
wow,
uh the rest
those
is history.
stories, you know,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Over
man,
50 years of marriage, you know,
wow.
10 kids later. Yeah.
There's so much, damn, you know. And let me ask you this, it's completely unrelated, but if you could well, it's not unrelated, it's unrelated to your career or whatever. If you could take immortality, would you take it?
No.
Yeah, really?
No, I don't want to be around forever.
How about let's expand on that. You could have immortality in a prime form, right? Never age, never get sick, never get hurt, and you're in your perfect peak physical form forever, and you can have that, and your mind will always be intact. And would you take immortality?
If I was able to take my fam and friends with me, because I would have to outlive them all. That would suck. And I'd have to keep, yeah. I think because I'm such a person of like community and like I do better with everyone. You know, this is a community effort. So if I was by myself, oh God, it wouldn't be well. Who am I gonna talk to? I talk way too much for that.
Would you, so you'd give immortality, you'd take immortality if you could like share it with your son, your parents.
Right.
Like, okay,
100%. And I would make it a mission to change the world, to make a difference if I had that for sure.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, some people tell me no, some people tell me yes, you know. But the reason I ask that is because imagine having been around from say like the Egyptian era or even further back and have seen everything transpire till today and
Mm-hmm.
what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, right? Sometime in the future, and they're gonna look at us the way we look at the Egyptian era, the Romans.
Yep.
Like, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna look back at us that way. And what would that next thing be? Just fascinates me. You know, you walked
A little
around with
scary.
them, but it's fascinating to me, like to like, could I would love to see it, and therefore the immortality thing, you know.
Right,
But
exactly.
also I do struggle with that of losing everyone you love and seeing, you know, because for you then, if you're here forever, every person is just a blink of an eye,
I know.
you know. So that would
That sounds
be,
terrible.
yeah. You ever read Anne Rice?
No.
So Anne Rice has quite a few of those guys. They're
Okay.
vampires, you
Uh-huh.
know, like
Yeah.
you know, and they're all pretty jacked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's what I
you know,
figured.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all
Oh, I definitely
pretty.
have to look into that then.
Oh, I have her entire catalog from the
Really?
vampires to the witches to the mummy to her
Oh my God.
Christ series. She has a Christ one. I mean, wolves. I love her work.
See, I
It's
love that stuff. So like, you like for me as an actor, I'm like, I would love to play different. Like, I think that one of my biggest goals is like trying to just be as diverse as possible. I never, especially as a Latina actor, it's like I do not want to be put in any type of box. So make me a vampire, make me, you know, a politician. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be like I don't want anybody to ever be like, oh, Danielle is this. She can play this. No, play
typecast. You
everything.
don't want to be.
And and I think that's very important for our community because we don't get that a lot. We get typecast very easily.
Yeah.
You know,
Your
there's
thing
that
says, you
thing like they
know,
don't think I can.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
your name and they'll say Spanish girl, you know, Spanish girl in
Hello.
restaurant. You know what I mean? Like,
Hello.
you know, yeah.
No. But you know, I'm very lucky that I actually so far have accomplished that. You know, I play a cop on one show. In the This Is Me Now with J Lo, I'm more comedic, which I haven't been able to do. I was a nurse on another show. So I've definitely been able to, you know, I played the girlfriend. I played, you know, all different kinds of things, which I think is great and really important. And again, I don't want to be like, oh, she can only specifically play a cop or she can, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
just trying to constantly do different things is really important.
I think you should push the vampire.
All right. That's
You
next on
know?
my list. So I
Yeah.
was pushing Bridgerton, but I got to work on that English accent. But
Yeah, yeah,
now I'm gonna tell
yeah.
my management team now I need to be a vampire. So you need to find out.
Yeah, you sent me that show because I ain't seen too many Latinos in Bridgerton. You know what I'm saying? You
That's what I'm
know,
saying.
that's kind of rough like that.
Yeah,
I don't know how that would
it's
work.
gonna happen. I'm already manifesting. I'm like, at least Bridgerton or some type of period piece. I need that. That's my next on my list. I need to accomplish that.
Hmm. Well, you'll do it then. You'll get it.
Exactly.
You'll get
Whatever I
it.
set my mind to is kind of crazy. I'm like,
But also get that
focus.
vampire. I want to see it. You know?
Okay, definitely 100%.
That'll be fun. Tell me
Yeah.
about your present work. I saw you doing some stuff and you got some you mentioned J-Lo just now and I saw the Bosch. I was watching Bosch like I was marathoning it. I have to pick it up again, but that's a fun show. I like it. You
No,
know.
it's great. I'm so lucky they're like my family. They're literally one of the first, I think the first job I got back as an adult.
Mm,
That was the first, show that gave me an opportunity. And I was so grateful because I was jumping in on an already well-oiled show.
right.
Like this,
Right.
I jumped in on the spinoff. So they were already the same cast, the same crew. It's been working. You know what I mean? And amazing actors. So I was like so grateful and I'm soaking everything up like a sponge. And everybody on that set is so lovely. I mean, I cannot speak enough about their talent and who they are on and off screen. And also I got to play a cop like my parents. So that was like so full circle for me, and I got different point of views from my mom and my dad. My dad went off to be a detective, a homicide detective for 20 years. And his approach to things as a man, as a detective, as, homicide was very different than my mother, who, ended up retiring at 3/4, being a woman who's only 5 foot and doing undercover work. Totally different.
Mm.
So you know what I mean? So he taught me a lot of when I was preparing for the role about procedure. Boom, boom, boom. This is the way it is, and always protect yourself. He was huge about protecting yourself, looking, da da da. And my mom was more like, you're gonna get a lot more, bees with honey. So she's like, don't come in
Mm.
there and act like you're, this big old macho. You're not. Realize, you know what I mean? And a lot of these, she called them perps back in the day. They just want to be talked to. She's like, I literally never pulled out my gun in the whole time I was on the force because I would just be like, listen, man, you got to go. I'm sorry this is happening. Let's just figure this out. You know what I mean? And that's what's her approach. So I kind of married the two and really worked on it. My dad's like, yo, you better not make me look bad out here. You're a cop's daughter.
Yeah.
He's like, if I see you on that show
Yeah,
and
you
you don't
better
got your
not
hand on your
suck.
gun and you don't look and touch the car when you're doing a traffic stop, we're gonna have problems. I was like, okay.
Wait, you're supposed to touch the car? Is that a thing?
So yeah, so there's a thing, like when you're approaching a car, you always want to put your hand on the trunk because you want to make sure nobody's in there and that trunk's not open. So you're touching the car and you're also always not trying to be a full target. So when you're approaching somebody, you're walking, you notice a cop, they're not going to be full on you. It's harder to hit. That's an easier target to hit than kind of being more closed in and kind of side sweeping it. They're always like kind of this. They're always standing like that. And I was like, I didn't never notice that. He was like, yeah, think about it. Like, you're never gonna see a cop like, hey, you know.
Do you know why I
Never.
stopped you? Do you
Yeah,
know
that's
why
on
I stopped
TV.
you?
Yeah, that's on TV. Like, you're not gonna see that. It's stupid. So he taught me stuff like that, which I thought was awesome. And they also have a fantastic, consultant on Bosch who, I mean, you see it. They're killing it, man. And
Yeah,
it's
it's a
so
good show.
exciting. And yeah, no, definitely. Amazon. I'm an Amazon girl. And then I'm doing I just did This Is Me Now, which is also on Amazon with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, I know that's kind of wild. So like your homegirls were in the show?
Yes, it's basically her telling her life and her story in her own words. And it's her album is mixed in between it. So it's kind of like a musical experience. And in between the music videos, there's acting scenes. And also in the music videos, me and 4 other people who are literally based on real friends in her life follow her through the movie. And we basically, we give her advice, we crack jokes, we comment, we act as her friends. There's, if you guys have seen the film, there's moments where I'm just like this one ain't gonna last. You know what I mean? Like, girl, what are you doing? You know, and we all need a friend like that. So I thought it was really amazing. I thought it was cool. The choreography is phenomenal. And we all need a group of friends like that to keep it real with you and tell you like it is, right?
Word. Yeah, you know, everybody, I think with successful and famous people, people tend to be yes people to them.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to, you know, I'm more like, you know, that sucked. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
keep it
no.
real, man.
Honestly.
Like, you know,
Honestly.
you know, I mean, I could just, I mean, everybody's gonna be the yes person, you know. So I pride myself on keeping it real. And sometimes people don't like it, and it's like, well, if that's what you're looking for, I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you're J-Lo, I don't care if you're Bruno Mars, I don't care if you're, you know, I don't kiss ass. And I'm also
Yeah.
Boricua. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that. You know, like,
Yeah, no.
don't, you know, I don't fawn or, in fact, of the few people that I'd love to have met, you know, as a famous person, Jackie Chan was one of them, right? And this freaking guy dissed me. Like, he was talking to all the girls, and he straight up dissed me. And I'm like, bro, ain't none of those girls been watching you as long as me. Ain't none of those girls go back to the olden days of Jackie Chan. They just know you from what's that cop
Rush Hour?
Yeah, Rush Hour. They know you from Rush Hour. They don't know you from Drunken This and all these other old films. And you dissed me, bro. So I kind of got mad, right? And I grabbed him, you know, like I grabbed him by the shoulder and he kind of shrugged me off and he turned around and I was like, yo, please hit me. Like, it'll be so dope to get knocked out by Jackie Chan, you know? And I mean, in hindsight, that's not cool of me to do, but you know, I got up in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, those girls don't know you, man. I'm the one who put you there, and you're gonna diss me? Nah, son. I got mad and I grabbed him, and he shrugged me off, and he turned and looked at me, and his arm came up, and I was like, "Come on, do it, brother." You know? But he didn't. You know. You want to see my dog? Let me see if I can get her.
Yeah, I'd love to. Oh my God. Like a teddy bear. That is hilarious. So I have a U, but he's almost like 100 pounds.
What?
I have a fluffy, yes, half German Shepherd, half Husky. Fluffy like that, but he's a nightmare.
100 pounds. Oh my goodness. German
He's
Shepherd.
probably messing something up in my backyard as we speak.
Oh my goodness. You said Husky and German Shepherd?
German Shepherd.
Wow. Wait a
Huge,
minute. How would that look like? Like, what's the
He's
dominant?
so cute.
What's the dominant appearance? Is it
Well, they're called Shetskis. That's their name. But you know, it depends. Depends on the mix. Some of them come out more looking like German Shepherd, some come out Husky. I think he's a really perfect mix. He has a German Shepherd body, but a Husky face, and he has one blue eye and one brown eye. And then he's orange, which is interesting because I guess the mix of the German Shepherd, the brown, and then the white of the Husky, he came out orange.
You're gonna have
Super
to send
cute.
me a picture.
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
of-
yeah. I don't want to bother him now because then he'll go nuts. But I can send you a picture because he's really, really
wow.
cute. But
Wow.
only a year old and a pain in my behind.
Wow. So does it stand to reason that he's not fully grown?
Lord, I hope not. Lord, I freaking hope not. I didn't expect him to be this big.
Wow.
He is ginormous, but the biggest lover and doesn't know he's big. So it's cute, but he's like a freaking horse, and then like wants to sit on me. And I'm 5'1", mind you. And I'm like, this is not gonna work. He like literally knocks me over. It's hilarious. My son tries to like ride him like a horse. I'm like, oh my God.
Can y'all walk him or is he walking you?
You know, because I don't play. So I've gotten him trained, and he knows I am boss. So when we're out there, you know, sometimes when he sees other dogs, he gets very excited. So sometimes he'll try to like, you know, and I have to like correct him. But it's a struggle for sure. Like he hurts my shoulder for sure.
Well, I mean, that's fun anyway, no matter how, you know, that sounds like a fun experience. I can see your excitement when you're talking about him and stuff. Like,
yeah, he's so fun. I mean, I've grown up with dogs, so they're, you know, they help the world go around, man. You know, you
Oh,
having a
yeah.
bad day, just be with your dog, you're
Just-
fine.
You just pick
Yep.
them up and look
That's
at that
it.
face. And she's licking my arm. Like, how can you
Yep.
not?
Yep.
How can
Yep.
you not, Yeah, she's helped me through a lot, I mean, like sometimes you just don't want to do anything, but you still gotta walk her, you still gotta get up and feed her, you still gotta, take her, clean her poop, whatever, like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that and
That's a lot.
Zumba have kept me, because I teach Zumba as well. And
Oh, how cool is that? I love Zumba.
I
Where do you teach?
24-hour fitness.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, here in
That
New
is
York,
so
like
fun.
real close
Oh
to
my,
me and Regal Park.
oh
I
my
teach 2 classes,
God.
retro fitness.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, I love that.
I teach tonight.
Maybe when I'm in New York, I might be doing New York for work. Maybe I'll come check a class out. I love Zumba. I have a blast. Me and my mom go, and I mean,
Oh, I love
you
that.
you got to do the disco lights though.
I
You like
have
turn
done
the music.
that.
That is so fun with the disco lights.
I've done it, but like people like they never cooperate. I'm like, yo, we're doing neon, whatever, or we're doing this party, and they come all black and like I'm like, man, you know what, man, I'm not giving you guys no more disco balls, man.
Yeah.
Like they love my class and they come
Yeah.
and I actually just picked up a new class because they wanted me to take another class. So but I don't do no like things like that because they don't, they don't cooperate. It's like, yo, we're doing a fundraiser, Party in Pink to raise
Yeah.
money for, breast cancer or whatever. And like one person will come in pink. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that stuff anymore. You're just
Like,
gonna
I'm
get a
done.
regular class with regular colors. I'm wearing a green shirt.
I love that. That's
I'd
awesome.
love to have y'all in there. You just let me
Yeah.
know if you definitely come to New York and stuff.
Yeah.
I love to get people who take, that don't really know me, take the class and get an opinion on it,
Mm-hmm.
Um,
No,
because
100%.
everybody who takes it, they love it, but like, well, let me get a random person, and let's see what happens,
No,
I'm
no,
pretty,
for sure.
I do I take it very seriously and I do a pretty good job and, it's a lot of fun, but it keeps me, so like I've been having anxiety attacks. I started having
Mm,
panic attacks this year. And that's one of the things that forced me to get out, because I'm hiding. I don't want to do anything. I'm just at home, like just, just freaking out, panicking, and I don't want to do anything. And that has helped me. And of course, her. This
yeah.
one, I got to take
That's a
her
real
out. I got
thing,
to
man. I
walk her.
struggle with that as well. And I think it needs to be talked about more. And one thing I can say is, yeah, this mind is a powerful thing. And what helps is moving,
Mm.
distraction, you know what I mean? And somebody else, whether it's an animal or a person, it has really helped me kind of distract my mind because you just like, you know what I mean? Then when you get busy with other things, it doesn't become such a thing. So it's intense, definitely intense.
Probably your son and dog would help you with that, right? Because the dog's
Big
gonna
time.
need attention, and of course, the kid you don't want to bum them out, So
I
you're
do a big thing with my son is I feel like growing up, because, again, both my parents being in law enforcement and also coming from the, Hispanic culture, like, you never really saw, like, I never really saw my mom cry. And I never really saw, like, they're just taught to be very strong and
Mm.
everything's fine, which is a great thing. It's just the way they were raised. But with my son, I really do allow him to see me have a bad day and see me cry because I want him to know what to do. And then I allow him to see me also get myself back up.
Mm.
Because I think that, when those moments happened for me, I kind of panicked and I felt in a sense like weaker than my parents. Like, why is this affecting them? And look at them, they were able to do it. It's not that it didn't affect them, it's that they didn't show us how to get yourself back up, how to deal with mental health. And so there's a moment where I just tell them, I'm like, mommy's having a bad day and she's gonna chill on the couch and it's gonna be great. You want to chill with me? And he'll be like, okay, I'm going to get my iPad and he'll chill with me. And he'd be like, can we get takeout on our bad day? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
got the ice cream, buddy.
Yeah. And then the next day we get up and we do school, and I'm fine. But like I bring them along that journey. I mean, who knows, raising kids or even raising dogs or whatever, like you never know how it's gonna turn out, but trying my best. We'll see what happens when he turns 18 and he's like, why did you do that? Why did you show me that? I don't know.
Los hombres no lloran. That's what
Yes,
I,
exactly.
no, I,
Exactly.
and I have actually spoken with people who say, you can't show that to your woman. You can't, I'm like, why? He's like, she's gonna think you soft and she's gonna cheat on you, bro, because you're not a
Mhm.
man. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yo, if I can't be who I am, because whenever I've had people kind of on me over it, whatever, I'm like,
Mhm.
then come sun me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
You know, watch what I'm gonna do to you. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like this.
no.
I'm gonna be like this. Just take it. There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
what do you, so it's like,
No.
what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, if I'm crying, what does it mean? I could still put you to sleep. What does it mean? You know? So I mean, anxiety it's a horrible freaking thing, So you say you've had anxiety attacks and stuff like
Oh
that?
yeah. I mean, I think all through my early 20s, I really started to deal with it. And I think it was just, again, having things happen to me like everybody does. Everybody goes through things. And in a sense, and it's no fault to my parents at all. Like, you do the best you can with what you got. You know what I
Right,
mean?
of
And
course.
I'm 32 now, so I came up in an age where I was still in the 90s, and we're really, I mean, I could say probably the first generation that was like, no, therapy's okay. No, let's really talk about our feelings, because I feel like, two of my brothers, they're about 10 years older than me, and like that they're that way. They're still like, no. Like they're not going to talk about how they feel. They're never going to go to therapy, and it's so I feel like I was really the generation that started to shift that, and it was a struggle. Also being the first in my family to be like, if we're not talking, like, let's not sit around and not talk for years. Like, I definitely feel like I'm the one in the family to be like, all right, one brother's not talking to the other brother. Let's sit down and talk about it. Or my dad's mad at my other, but you know what I mean? And kind of be that force. So that was a lot of pressure on me. And I think that's where that came about, is just breaking the generational
Yeah.
pattern. I don't want to say curse. I want to say pattern, because again, it's not a negative thing. I also learned a lot from that too. I feel like, in a sense, our generation went and did that, and then we kind of, in my opinion, don't come for me, we took it a little too far. You know what I mean? In a
Oh.
sense of like being overly sensitive, because then we're like, oh,
Mm.
now we open this can of worms, and then we don't know how to deal with these can of worms. So I learned a lot from my parents, in a sense where, thank God, they're super accepting now. Like, my parents are not people to be stuck in their ways. It's a beautiful thing to watch my parents, my relationship, to be with them. And I'm so lucky that it's like, we have a great adult relationship. Like, we're friends. And I got to see them grow as well through me and through their adult children, which was really nice to see. And the biggest thing that I learned from them, they're like, all right, you cracked this, all right, cry. You cracked the word, like, you got, all right, everything's out. You're a mess. Now learn that there's some things that you could be a mess about, and there's some things that you gotta just let it go. So then coming back to that balance, I think really helped me with anxiety, because it was like, you don't got to look at that whole mountain. Like, my mom and my dad are famous for that. Like, because they were cops, they never freak out. So they'll be in a burning building and just be sitting there having their coffee. You know what I mean?
Like that meme, right? Like that. I think it's a
Yeah.
cat
So,
just
so
chilling.
yeah, so I still take that in as well, and learn that, like, yeah, the mountain's crazy, but like, maybe I only got to look at a little piece of the mountain right now to
Right,
get me
right.
through. So I think it's a balance of both.
Yeah, yeah. It's in. I mean, first of all, they're Latino,
Mm-hmm.
so that in itself, like my pops was. I mean, damn, my pops was on his deathbed, and he wouldn't show weakness.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
he's like, I'm all right, and I'm like,
Yep. Yeah.
um, pops,
Yeah.
you know, it's okay to hug.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's
Mm-hmm.
very macho. Like my father was hardcore. Like he was in his 70s, so he was the as far as toxic masculinity of a man as you can get. That was it. Now you add
Mm-hmm.
to that cops,
Yep.
right? So in addition to that, now you make them cops, which is a whole nother level of toughness that you have to have just to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So I can
No
imagine that,
expression, no nothing. Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine how stoic and hardcore those guys must be, like,
Yeah.
um, and again, like you said, they work with what they got, what they
Yeah.
know, um,
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my mom a couple days ago, and you know, like my therapist was like, ask them about her pregnancy. Ask your mom about her pregnancy with you and when you were a baby. And I asked her, and I mean, I don't want to say because I don't want to make my mom whatever. I don't want to disparage my mom or whatever. But she's told me some stuff that I didn't know, obviously, and I was like, huh, that could well, like I give you an example, like and she said it. She's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know better back then, whatever, you know. This is what I knew. And she's like, when you were a baby and you'd cry, we just slapped the crib to get you to stop, like pa pa pa, cállate, you know, and you stop crying, you know. What we should have done was taking you and comfort you and nurtured you, but we didn't know better, you know. And she was telling me, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. But this is part of it. Like, I want to know this. And she afterwards she messaged me. She's like, you know, I'm sorry. I feel like I shouldn't have told you that stuff. I feel like it makes things worse. I'm like, no, ma, I want to know. That's why I asked. And it's not to judge you. It's not to
Not to
attack
judge.
you. You know, like you're the most important person in the world to me. That it's not, it's just I want to understand why I am the way I am now, you know,
Yeah.
and why I struggle with certain things. And
Yeah, but
you
that's
know,
amazing and very, very your mom's very brave for like telling you that, you know what I mean? And the way you actually responded to her is, I think, it's healing for her too. Cause you know,
mm,
I had those moments, those coming to God moments with my mom and my dad. And I was so lucky that my parents, instead of being like, I was very open and they were very open too, to kind of being like, I'm not judging you. And then took it like that. All right, she's not judging me, instead of taking it like, I know you're just saying that, but you're judging me. You know what I mean? They were
mm.
very like, this is what it is. And let's move on from here, and let's learn together. And, you know, I could say to this day, man, my parents are like, just watching them be grandparents. Like, they are the best. Like, but I accept them fully, flaws and all. And now I laugh about it. Like, they're still the same people.
Right, right.
Like to this T, like, for example, my mom is the most hysterical person, and I get all my drive from her. You know, once she retired, 10 years on the job, she got hurt in the line of duty, raised me and my brothers, decided to go back to school, went to college at night while we were, you know, being raised and stuff, and then became a lawyer. At 50 years old, she passed the bar and became a civil rights lawyer. So she's she's active
Wow.
in LA and everything. And so I get a lot from her, but you know, she still has her quirky ways, man. Like, for things like, when you go hang out with her, she likes to be in the back seat. And I'm like if we driving,
Oh,
she
you're
likes to be in the
Uber.
back seat. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, go ahead, keep driving. I'm like, Ma, I'm not your chauffeur. And like, these are just things that like
Wait,
they
what is
are.
that a cop thing or what's the?
I don't. I think it's a her thing, but me and my brothers crack up about it all the time. She just stuck in her ways. My dad too. Like, they just do what they want, and it's hysterical now. I was recently in Chicago for work, and I was like, on my birthday, I was like, oh, let me go and go get a facial, and Mom, meet me out in Chicago and we'll get a facial together. So I'm on the phone, and I'm like, the facialist is there, and I'm like ready to go in. I turn around, take off my coat. Yo, she's already laying in the bed. And I'm like, wait a minute,
Oh my
it's my
God.
birthday. And she's
Where's
like, oh,
it?
I'm already here. I'm already here. Go ahead.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and it's funny. Like, back then, maybe when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, she's so selfish. You know what I mean?
Took
But
it, right, right.
you know, they are who they are, you know, and just accepting them for who they are and laughing about it is great, you know? So I can only hope my son does that for me, because I know I got a lot of flaws.
Well, it seems like you're heading in that direction. You know, you're raising him that way and sharing those vulnerable moments and stuff like that. Stuff is big. You know, it's big. You know, I don't know, I don't know how different we'd be if things were like that for us. You know, I don't. You know, I don't know. I don't like these anxiety attacks. It's like it's bad. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like a couple nights ago, I take medication. I take Lexapro,
Mm-hmm.
and then at night I have to take something called Trazodone,
Mm-hmm.
and I take the Trazodone, and I have to wait for it to kick in before I lay down, because if I lay down prior, it just comes up, and it's like whatever a person would feel when they're in a shootout and they're trying to run, and like it's a total
Fight or flight.
panic. Yeah, just, you know, and it's bizarre because I'm laying there and I'm like, I'm in my bed with my wife and my dog. There's absolutely no reason to feel, but it's as irrational as it is, I am panicking. So I had to get
Mm-hmm.
up. and wait another like 30 minutes for the trazodone to kick in, It sucks. Like it
sucks.
sucks. It's
No, it's the scariest thing in the world, and you feel like you're like dying. Like it's horrible. You can't catch your breath. You're sweating. Ugh, I've been through it.
yeah,
Literally the worst.
I don't understand why I have to take pills to be me.
Yeah.
And this just started with the new year after an
Mhm.
MRI. That MRI broke me. Like and I've done so many MRIs, I've been fine. This last MRI just
Oh, you just panicked
snapped.
in there.
It just
Yeah.
snapped something, and I was like, yo, pull me out. And they're like, it's
Mhm.
only 15 minutes. I am about to break your machine. Pull me out, or I am bench pressing this mother. I was just freaking out, and they pulled me out, and I was like, I apologize. I'm sorry for the way I just spoke. I don't think you understood the urgency of what I was
Yeah.
requesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And he was like, do you want to try again? I'm like, nah, man, I'm good, bro.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think I'm good. And since then, I have to take medication to be myself. And
Yeah.
it's so unbelievable to me. Like every day I struggle, like, why?
Yeah.
And I got greedy with that MRI. I didn't even need it. You know what I mean? I just was
Mhm.
like, it's free. I'm gonna get it. And I guess the universe was like, you know what, man? You want free? I'm about to give you something free.
Yeah.
And here we are,
Yeah. No.
Sucks.
And listen, I got my psychology degree, so I'm very, listen, whatever you got to take to just get you through the day. Listen, life is freaking short, man. Nobody got to be dealing with pain or whatever the hell they're going through. Just be happy. And if that's what helps you right now, and it's also not a forever thing, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Mm.
And you never know. And for me, I went the more natural route, taking, whatever melatonin to calm down or whatever. And what started to happen was, again, dealing with the things in my life. Maybe it's like I'm not thinking that that's why I'm panicking, but let's say in my life I got a lot of unresolved problems or whatever. And when I started talking through things, the panics didn't feel, when they did happen, as severe. And then what I felt like is, once my body stopped going to that like high level of anxiety, it started happening less and less. And it's like your body got used to going there. So then it's like, oh, let's go there every day. Like, oh, I know how to panic. And then once you just get used to not panicking as much, it started to reduce for me. But everybody's different, and it's freaking hard, and it sucks. And
Yeah,
my heart's with
tough
you,
one.
because I feel you. I know exactly. It sucks. And I'm hoping things get better for you in that sense, because
Yeah.
I literally feel it right now, because I remember how I felt.
Oh, sorry.
And it's frustrating. No, not, I'm not gonna panic right here. But frustration, you know what I mean? Frustration. I feel like you're like, I was fine before. What the,
Yeah,
what the
what
hell?
happened? What happened? What is this? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Florida to visit my little sister, and I couldn't sleep. So that was right after the MRI, and I just couldn't sleep, and I'm pacing back and forth. And they wake up and they're like, Jojo, are you okay? I'm like, I am freaking out right now, and I don't know why. And she's like, you want to try my bed? I'm like, laying down puts me in extreme panic. And I'm in the kitchen while they're sleeping, and I'm doing like forward folds and doing sun salutations. And they come, they get up to go to the bathroom, and they're like, what are you doing, bro? And I'm like, I have a lot of nervous energy in me right now, and I am freaking out. So I'm trying to wear myself out, and she's like, dude, you're nuts. I'm like, yes, I am, very much so. And she's like, you want some of my Lexapro? I got Wellbutrin. I'm like, nah, I don't want to, I don't want to, but in hindsight, I probably should have popped one, but like I didn't want to do that, without prescription, like.
No, yeah, of course. No, 100%. Wow. Yeah, that needs to be talked about more, especially in our community, like the mental health about it. And it is okay, and it does suck. And you know what I mean? All of the above is true.
Do you feel like as a Latina woman, and do you just do you think it makes a man look weaker or whatever to have them say these things, or to take medication, or to show you emotion, or do you appreciate it?
Again, everybody is different. My opinion, I think that's more attractive, because then they makes that person real. You know what I mean? I don't want to be with this perfect guy. I don't want to be with someone who knows how to handle every situation because I don't know how to handle it. And like, that's a human thing and it's a connection. And it's like, all right, let's figure it out together. And it also blocks others from being able to support you, which I think is healing for you and the other person. So, I think that's admirable and something I look for. You know what I mean? If you're a mess, like every part of your life you can't handle, that's a different story. But like, in a sense of letting people, you know what I mean? I've been
Yeah,
there
babe,
too. And I'm like,
I can't hold this job.
yeah, exactly. I can't help you like get up on time. You know what I mean? But in the sense of like, you know, just being raw and honest and vulnerable, I think it needs to happen more with a lot of men. And I feel like could maybe help and promote more successful relationships. Cause I feel like maybe us as women, we're like, we don't really know, like, why is he acting like that or whatever? And, maybe we end up falling off and not being together. And it's really like he just didn't feel like he could open up or be vulnerable or really tell you what's going on so that you guys could grow and connect together. So I think we should do more of that.
Yeah, it's tough. I try with my wife and stuff, and she's like, I'm overwhelming her. That is too much. And I gotta respect that, But then I'm like, who can I talk to then? You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to kind of talk to you. And she does listen, but in the words of my therapist, you're a lot. So I understand that, and I'm like, all right, I get it. This is too much for her. And just the same, like I'm trying to heal and stuff, not at your expense. Not at
Ooh,
your
that's good.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
huge.
yeah, she's told me like, honey, you're making me anxious. I'm like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me stop dumping this on her because she
Yeah.
can't, she can't take all this stuff, and I don't want to break her peace, so,
And I don't know
again,
if it's just again, a culture thing. I find it in my culture. It's a lot of like, we don't really have a lot of patience with ourselves or with, so we're like, we want the answers right now. I'm like, why is this happening? I got to figure this out right in this moment. And da-da-da. And a lot of the times, if you're like, this is it right now, and this may not be forever, and I don't have to figure it out today, but that's hard to do.
yeah, I
And that
feel the
goes back
same.
to accepting, right? Being in
Yeah,
acceptance.
yeah. The first few weeks of taking those pills, I was struggling. I was like, I'm a damn, and I felt like that yesterday too. I felt it for a moment. Like I'm a prisoner to these things, and I hate it. And in the very beginning, I was tripping because I was like, well, I got to take this in the morning and at night. Like, what the hell happened in the last week to put me in this state? Like, this is just unacceptable, So I tried to tough through it, but that just wasn't working. The therapist was like, listen, man, I get you're a tough guy and you try to tough through everything and that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work in this case, You have to take a soft approach. You got to talk to yourself. So now I'm like, it's okay, dude. You're safe. You're fine. Where before it's more like, you get together, you little, like this is how I talk to myself. Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like I'm very mean, to myself. And she's like,
Same.
no, you can't do that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and I'll correct myself. I'll be like, man, what's wrong with you, bro? Fucking, get your, and then I'm like, no. I apologize. It's okay that you feel this way. I understand that you're trying to protect me. I don't need you right now. Everything's fine. Like I've had to change, I feel like it is somewhat helpful, like you said you had the psychology degree. Like what's your take on that? Like, do you also catch yourself and
Oh, 100%. And it's also not perfect. And there'll be some, and the funniest things, I'll be really good at it for a while. And I see some like, what you also do inside, I feel like manifests on the outside. I'm a big manifester and really, everything happens for a reason and whatever you believe, God, universe, whatever, so it'll be working out. And then I go through something and then it takes me sometimes weeks or months to realize I've been talking to myself and I think it's always like that. Like some people feel like they should be aware all the time. And I think it's a constant, not struggle, but it's a constant journey. It's this, you know what I mean? It's not straight. It's not, linear. It's you up and then you're down, and then you're up and you're down, but you are making progress and moving forward. I definitely think I can say in my life now, I have more good days than bad days, and that's the success. There is no 100% good days. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and there's times I'm like, dogging myself, and I'm like, man, why are you, you know? And sometimes I don't even catch it, and that's why it's great to have a community around you, or a therapist, or whatever, or somebody that can talk to you and be like, hey, call you out. And it's
Mhm.
like, and I tell this to my son a lot, because again, he's 7, he's learning how to deal with emotions that he hasn't had before, and he's easy to react. And I tell him, sometimes if he's a sore loser, the biggest sore loser. Like right now, like candy cane. Oh no, I'm sorry, candy cane. What is it called? Oh my God, Candy Cane Lane. What is that board game for kids? I can't remember anymore.
Sounds
Anyway,
right. I
yeah.
think
Damn. Anyways, it's off the table at the moment. He's a sore
uh
loser. And and he'll start, I caught him like, I'm just I don't know how to play, and I'm just a loser or whatever. And I'm like,
get
listen,
flustered, yeah.
and I tell him, I'm like, this experience has happened, but you kicking yourself while you're down does not help anything. It makes things worse. So I'm teaching him actively right now. And then I have to check myself. I'm like, oh damn,
Mm.
I'm over here telling him that, and I do that to myself. Stuff happens, and then I want to kick myself more while I'm already down. Makes no sense. But sometimes and through kids and through, I mean, even if you're training a dog, like you see a dog, act up or whatever, and it's like you got to stay calm. You got to teach them how to handle situations. So
It makes sense. Like you want
yeah.
to, like the question they ask me all the time is, do you talk to yourself like that? I'm sorry,
Mhm.
no, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Others
Do you talk to others like that? And I'm like, no,
never.
I'm very sweet and nice to other people. And they're like, well, then why do you talk to yourself like that? And I'm like, because I'm a hardcore military guy. They're like, yeah, you shouldn't talk to yourself like that. And also, I realized that the repetition of it, if you can make yourself believe you're crap by constantly calling yourself crap, then you could make yourself believe you're worthwhile by constantly saying you're good. And that's what I've been
That's
trying.
actually another thing too. You hit the nose, because also you think, okay, I called myself great one time, and how come it's not working? It's not
Right.
about that. It's literally 100 times later is when you start to see the effects of
Mm.
that, or maybe it could be less. But I'm just saying, like
It's a
as an
whole
example.
rewiring of the communication paths in the brain. I've been reading all this crap. In fact, later today, I'm gonna talk with these people who run an anxiety website
Oh,
because,
cool.
well, in this particular case, when it first happened, I signed up and I didn't feel like they were helpful and they were being difficult about the refund. So I wrecked them on Trustpilot and my blog, and the guy's been reaching out to me and I'm like, screw you, man. Now you're reaching out. And now he reached out again and he was like, I kind of feel like you were a little harsh, blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna reach out later. I'm gonna reach out later and I'm gonna take the review down, and I like use words like predatory and you know,
Oh yeah.
like I don't think it's entirely fair. So uh, I, I I hate pulling stuff once I write it,
Yeah.
because I feel like it damages my integrity, you know. But on the same note, you got to kind of know when you might have overdone it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
No, 100%. And I think that's also a good thing too, is always coming back and, fixing any mistakes that you've made. It's
yeah.
actually shows a lot of strength and courage. So I'm all for it. I do that in my life a lot. I'm like, oh man, I did be like, I be coming out my face and I have to call my mom back, like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And she's like, yeah, whatever, bye.
Yeah. And people don't understand how much it takes to do that too.
Yeah.
You know? Well, I've kept you on quite a while and I don't want to tie you up for too long. So, I mean, is there anything you wanted to talk about that you want to let people know to check out and
Yeah, I mean,
your
of
social
course, I want to
media and
promote my
everything?
shows. Yeah, I mean, this was awesome. This was very personable, and I felt like I was talking to a friend, so that was
Likewise,
great.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
likewise.
and you know, you guys can catch me on Instagram. Like I give updates on all my stuff that's going on at Danielle LarraCuente. This Is Me Now with Jennifer Lopez. That's streaming now on Amazon. Bosch Legacy Season 2 is on Amazon as well. Catch My Son on Griselda on Netflix. And then I have another project coming out that I have not announced yet. We'll just say it will be coming out. I can start talking about it, I think, next week. So I'm really excited about that. You guys have to tune in, check it out. Follow your girl because we need to support each other. I think it's so important. It's like, you know, when you, I like her or whatever, or you say my name in a room that I'm not in, you know, we all help each other in that way. And I do that for others. So I'm just so grateful for everybody that follows me. And it's all love and all peace.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Cool. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation too. I feel comfortable. And sometimes you talk to people and you don't really feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, but I like to just talk. You know, like I don't like I wrote like three things. You know, Latino actor, PR that I wanted to make sure that maybe I'd ask you about. 2 cop parents, how that influenced your worldview. BJJ. Oh, hold up. There was one thing I wrote down that we haven't even touched. You have award-winning fish?
A what?
It says something about award-winning fish, festival-winning, fair-winning
Oh
fish.
my God, no. Okay.
What?
No. So...
Hold up. I knew there was, and that's why I jot down little interesting little.
This is so ridiculous. I'm gonna tell you. So I took my, because I'm crazy, right? I already have I have 2 dogs, by the way, not just one, and my son. And we went to this, like, you know, what do they do? The little pumpkin patches or whatever. And they had these freaking goldfish. And I'm like, Benson, we don't need a goldfish. And he's like, I want the goldfish. So I'm literally spending like $45 trying to win this damn fish. And I'm like, this is rigged. You know, right? Constantly. And he's like, Mommy, let me try. I'm like, it's rigged. I'm like, you can't try it. Tell me why my last try, I had no more money left. I was like, I'm not going to the ATM. That's it. He tries it and wins the damn fish.
God.
So now we had this damn goldfish. Her name is Goldie. And we've had her. She won't. Like, literally, this damn fish lives through everything. Like, she's like, all around. I'd be like, did she eat today? I don't even know. Like, I'm such a bad fish mom. And she is like, a year and a half later, she is still here. And my kid is obsessed with her. Every morning he turns her light on. How are you today, Goldie? And I'm like, oh my God, this damn fish.
Well, he won her with one shot, you know. And
true story. I couldn't believe it.
That's where it comes from. I read that as y'all had a fish that won awards.
No, that's hilarious. That's why I said you're gonna laugh. No.
That's why I was like, hold up, we got to talk about this fish.
No, that's hilarious. God. You know what she should for surviving? She should win an award for surviving in my household. He has overfed her sometimes, and I'm like, that's it. Say your goodbyes. And she has survived.
She ain't going nowhere. She's like, nah, I'm from the Bronx, bro. I'm from the Bronx, and my parents are.
This fish, I tell you, I don't know how she does it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. Well, we thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Peppa thanks you too. This has been a pleasure. Peppa, like the pig, like Peppa Pig.
I love it.
Here, check out her tummy.
My son loves Peppa Pig. Oh my God, that's awesome. Thank you. Oh my God, it's so freaking cute. Oh my God, it's like a little teddy bear.
Yeah,
what kind of dog is that?
Pomeranian.
Oh, I love it. But littler than a Pomeranian, no?
Yeah, she's a tiny pom.
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah,
so
she's a
cute.
super.
I love it.
Look at her tongue. Such a sweet girl.
Thank you so much. I mean, I had such a good time.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. And
okay, all right. Bye.
Let me know when you come to New York, and we'll do that Zoom.
100%. I will. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Bye.
You are listening to the NYC Talking podcast. www.nyctalking.com. Please like NYC Talking on Facebook. Please follow Angel R Talk on Twitter and Instagram. We are NYC Talking, the realest lifestyle blog ever. Thanks for listening.